Like, you could just go up to a girl and be like, do you top or bottom? Do you like eating pussy? Like, but we don't do that because we're ashamed. Where a guy would be like, you wanna fuck? Okay, we'll do it. I like to say that there are about maybe like 5 to 6 different types of lesbians. I mean, they're all lesbians, but when you're like visually looking at them, you can be, just by the way they look and dress and even act sometimes, you can tell what kind of lesbian they are. So you have your butch lesbians, you have your straight, like strictly like really butch lesbians, like old school butch lesbians, like probably touch me nots, they don't want to be touched, they only want to like eat their girlfriends out for like 10 hours a day, and that's great. Then you have like stems, right? So it's like a half butch, half stud, and half femme. So it's like stem, stud and femme. And they're butch lesbians that kind of dress more masculine, but still will have long hair and makeup. Usually maybe they'll wear like tomboyish clothes, but they still know how to look hot when they go out, like look really feminine when they go out. Then you have like the middle people, like tomboys, and then you have people like me, it's like more of an artistic femme, like not lipstick lesbian. Like I won't wear like a high heel, like, you know, and a skirt while I go out, but I'm not masculine in any sense of the word. And then you have femmes, and then you have like high maintenance femmes, which we call lipstick lesbians. The only difference between a lipstick lesbian and a femme is the fact that they're high maintenance. We don't want to date those kind of girls. At least I don't. Lesbians like to categorize each other because usually, instead of like a gay guy just being like, do you like topping or bottoming? Lesbians can kind of figure out sexual positioning by the way that they dress. Sometimes, but not always. So I think that kind of is more of, rather like you could just go up to a girl and be like, do you top or bottom? Do you like eating pussy? Like, but we don't do that because we're ashamed. Where a guy would be like, you wanna fuck? Okay, we'll do it. Scissoring is not a myth, but most lesbians don't scissor. Most lesbians actually do something called tribbing. So the difference between the two is scissoring is literally this, which to me is not very romantic because if your heads are here and here, it's kind of like, you're kind of far away from each other. What most lesbians tend to do is tribbing, which is more like this. So it's more like grinding, kind of, and then this way your heads are close to each other and you're still getting the friction from, you know, the vagina to vagina action. Lesbian porn, as far as like companies like Pornhub and YouPorn and whatever, is actually made for straight women. There are, most of the lesbians in those porns aren't actually women that like women. People consider it fake lesbian porn because the women in there are feminine, which I will say that's bullshit. Because a lot of them will say, oh, they don't look queer enough, or whatever that even means. You can't look queer, you just are queer. Doesn't matter who's in the porn, sex turns women on. But it has to be sex that seems like it's being enjoyed by both parties. When you have 2 fake lesbians in porn, it's not gonna turn me on as much as a woman enjoying a dick up her ass would turn me on, because the woman is enjoying herself. It doesn't matter if it's a man, for me. I just like seeing women get off, if that makes sense. I don't think lesbians are as innocent as people think. I think that they're more polyamorous and more sexually curious and sexually fluid, whatever that even means, women than there are men. I think that men aren't ashamed of it as much, and that's why you'll see more of it publicly, especially on things like Grindr and dating apps. But I think lesbians are just as perverted and want sex just as much. I also think that lesbians crave romance more, and I think that's the difference. And I think we tend to choose romance over sex. I think that from my perspective of the world, I've seen more lesbians or just queer women in general, whether that be pan, bi, or lesbian women, have tattoos. And I think one of the reasons for that is we're not afraid to express ourselves in the way we want to as much as straight women are. And I think that tattooing in general, or like messing up your body in some way or not keeping it pure, is seen as a masculine thing. When you're a lesbian or someone that isn't going with the grain as far as sexuality or gender is concerned, you already have passed that point of trying to please other people, and you kind of just do your own thing. When lesbians are together for a long amount of time, I think we tend to nest. There is a thing called lesbian bed death for a reason. I think that we forget about our individuality, and we do tend to become an item. I think that it's a good thing to teach women and men that no matter who you're with or what sexuality or gender you are, that you have that individual personality and your gift to the world is to express that. Whether that's through your body art, whether that's through stories that you have to tell to the world, how you came to the realization of love for yourself. There's a number of ways, but I think that people forget about that when it comes to relationships, because we're taught that you have to look for the other half. When I was in Madrid for World Pride, it was the most interesting experience I've ever had as far as the gay community and the straight community coming together. There was actually more straight people at the gay pride parade than there were gay people. The little kids, like little 4 or 5-year-old kids running around World Pride, millions of people were there wearing, little kids were wearing rainbow capes. I've never seen anything like that before. I think people will have kids in New York City wearing rainbow capes if their parents might be gay, but these parents, seemingly so, were straight. Like they were, you know, a man and a woman or a male and female together. They had kids. They just didn't care. They were just all about love, and I thought it was strange. Isn't it sad though that acceptance in this world to that degree is considered strange? Maybe we'll end on that note.